generated by utilities. So hopefully we'll see a couple of changes and adaptations from that. For now, however, it is going to be a lobby push still.
Slower take so far. I mean, nothing overzealous. And of course, Sammy's still got that golden number of 6 to keep in hand as well. Will that be the difference maker today?
Nice little trade out there is gonna, oh nice, so 9Z actually give themselves the advantage here, and that's quite important because getting that bomb down, that's gonna mean a little bit of extra, oh my god, what?
First, where's he being found there? Bomb's gonna go down to the very least, that's exactly what they were looking for. The question is, can they find any more bomb plants? A post plant set up. Still a lot to do, and in they come flooding. Looking to find one more, will they be able to find it? No, Rock's gonna fall, Bolt's delivering. And now this becomes very dicey indeed.
I'm still laughing at Fur just like reversing into him and then turning around and going, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Oopsie, a little bit of a, yeah. Well, we get the tap on the bomb there to try and draw DGT out. It works. DGT goes down. VINI cleans it up. But as we mentioned, super important for 9Z to be able to get the bomb down. We saw this yesterday. They weren't able to get bomb down. Wait.
No, he didn't get it.
Seriously?
I mean, that must have been so fine margins. Less than a second on that one.
Oh my god.
9Z, they live by the skin of their teeth. They are so fortunate.
I'm not even sure I think you can kind of imagine every single player just watching going, come on, come on, come on, come on. Perfect timing on that. Well, I mean, whatever I was saying about, you know, needing to have some cash coming into this round, doubly so here. They're looking really good into this one. And I was saying, you know, yesterday they weren't able to get the bomb down, so they were still running with pistols. This time around, however, a ton of firepower to back them up.
Well, of course, rifles trying to make their way over towards ramp. It's a slightly more aggressive take here from 9Z. Fallen going to take a peek towards our side. Damage dealt as well. Max dropped to 31. Not even the worst of starts. And DGT will kickstart the opening kill. FNX4 and a porting kill at that. Numbers favour the T side, but Fur close and personal. And with the low HP of Max, surely only going to go one way. And that's exactly what happens. Numbers brought level and potentially even an upgrade on the rifles too.
Not expecting someone to be hiding down secret, and this makes a really good opportunity for Fur. Yeah, spots out the one in outside, and that's going to have to force a little bit of a rotation here. Now, 9Z still at a little bit of an advantage just in terms of what weaponry they have available, but they do need to play things a lot more carefully. Fur managed to pick up that Galil as well, so there's a lot more firepower there as they start to move their way back towards lobby.
In they come, Fallen a Bolts, one apiece as well. That's very important. Looking to try and find a little bit more. The question is, can they? Luke can turn around. They're not going to be able to pull this one off. And somehow, some way, with them significantly lesser buy of Imperial, they tie this game up one apiece on the CT side to kickstart that momentum so early. So important.
Interesting, because it felt like 9Z weren't 100% certain of what they wanted to accomplish in that round. You know, they start kind of moving in, they posture one way, they posture another way, you know, take a little bit of chip damage. Eventually they're like, all right, you've got 2 HP, go check out what's happening in secret. And he gets absolutely deleted, and at that point, kind of the whole execute falls apart. Needs to be a little bit more decisive in that, but now back on pistols, it's just going to be a lobby rush.
Very slow at the moment. So methodical, looking to find something. The question is, can they? No, that's the answer. Oh, so simple, oh, so effective. Fur going to close it down, Lucan does fall, and, oh, just like that, in a matter of seconds, a very comfortable round in their favour. No questions asked, 2-1 on the board, and, well, for Imperial, a lead. We mentioned that momentum starting to kickstart on that CT side. That's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, I think that this is more or less to be expected given what 9Z, I mean, I want to say the buy, but you can barely call it a buy at that point. They go into that round with very little to their names. Imperial have a huge advantage there, so, you know, no issues whatsoever. However, despite winning those last 2 rounds, we talk about this quite a bit and how difficult it can be to build up that econ for the CT side. We can already see it here. I mean, Fallen's just chilling on a Tech 9. Might still buy into that a little bit as there is a little bit of a tech pause coming through here. I think one of the players is having some FPS issues. So once things come back, let's see. Surely somebody buys for him. Surely you don't come into this round with just the Tech 9.
No, I mean, as we stand, right, you look at towards the economy of both sides, over towards the CT with a slight little bit of momentum, and of course an AK-47 collector, not really the worst scenario, still not the most comfortable buy, but yeah, you're looking over towards 9Z, it's the second part of a double eco situation, there's not really nothing they can do. They could have potentially gone for a slight upgraded pistols, but you want to try and stick around that 2k mark, gives you a little bit of longevity in towards the economy, so, as we stand, not at the end of the world. MP9 in close personal should be able to pick up a good amount of kills, and of course with the MP9 means a lot of money added to the bank as well. Exactly what they're looking for, but it's Bolts to find the first. Trying to catch plays of rotation, running out of ammo, and Rocks will trade. Glock's causing issues, but at that sort of range, FNX, an easy kill to his name.
Surprisingly, Fallen does in fact come into this round with just the Tech 9. Probably because they're saving up to get him the AWP in the next. Of course, he is the AWP player for this team. So we'll see if they can actually accomplish that. As seems fairly evened out, but with the massive HP advantage that Imperial have right now, it should be... Yeah,
there we go. Comfortable. VINI, who would have thought? Surprise, surprise. 3k with the AK. Just pistols though, isn't it? I mean, we can't really take too much from that for 9Z, but this is kind of where that full test starts to come forward. And I think it's, we were kind of speaking about this a little bit yesterday with the MIBR game, where 9Z were consistently in this kind of problem where they had that glass floor analogy, where, yes, they could pick up full buys because of the loss bonus, because of the kind of the previous save, but failure to convert is back to a double eco, and they're stuck in this brutal cycle. 9Z need to break the mold, and on T-side of Nuke, it's easier said than done.
Even with weaponry, DGT just gets absolutely melted in the first 10 seconds. And I mean, he was a big standout for them yesterday. So having him off the board so early on in the round, that's really going to slow things down. And well, there's that AWP I was talking about a little bit earlier on. That was in fact the play. Works out. Now the extra firepower they have here going to cause 9Z to stumble quite a bit.
Holding from above as well. A decent amount of aggression towards outside. They're still playing nice and passive in towards lobby. I mean, it's now a case of what decisions the 9Z want to make here. Do they go for this under-util towards outside, look towards that secret push that we've seen oh so prevalent from them yesterday, or do they kind of try and default back towards lobby, force their way on towards the A side? That is the question. Now, smoke's coming towards our side. We spoke about this. That was what the potential was going to be. Now, what decision do they want to make? Dropping forward in towards our side they go. Flash will catch the teammate, but at the very least, as space creators, Ferg got a tough task of holding from above. Needs to be careful not to overextend. Spots one crossing in towards Secret. His position given away and needs to be extremely careful because Max is coming from below.
Oh, Lucan just gets away with his life there. A little bit of chip damage on, but that information gets given across. Hey, guys, they're all heading through Squeaky, but are they? See, this is a potential kind of fake play here. You give away some information and then maybe swap things up halfway through the round. It would be a smart play. Well, let's see if they actually do commit to that.
Or an AK from behind, Max. Comfortable kill for him. Fallen stepping up with the AWP. Missed shot on the second, and then he gets punished for. David will find that trade. The bomb side open, and a B plan coming forward now. Post spawn to be set up momentarily, and as we stand, I mean, it's quite an aggressive push for the T side. They're going hunting for bringing the numbers in their favor. Bolts open the door. It's an uncomfortable swing from him, both dealing damage both ways, but it's Bolts to come on top. Numbers go in favor of the CT side, and now this becomes very uncomfortable as VINI's cutting off that rotation out towards ramp. All he has to do, hold and wait. Smack to the one tap. Only a 1-for-1 trade, though. Numbers still favor that on the CT side. It's all down to one man. Davin needs to have up huge. He finds the first. It's VINI to spot things out, to deny a fourth going in their favor. Door closes his face. Open right back up again. Gonna tap the bomb. Off and he goes. And David reads it like a book. 9Z find 2. And what a clutch that was.
I like this. I like the swap up in pace. I like the swap up in approach. They try and use that outside. They give over a little bit of info, but they do manage to make their way down quite quickly, quite efficiently. Max, of course, on a little bit of a lurk, gets himself towards ramp, and he's going to get that first pick of the round. And from there, the dominoes start to fall. Plays off really, really well, and Imperial weren't 100% sure how to respond to it. Now, the problem is, of course, if they try this again, Imperial might be waiting for it. So adaptations will continue to need to happen. But Imperial still have the AWP in their hands. A little bit of a glass cannon on Fallen here.
Risky, right? High risk, high reward. We've seen it work before. But the question is, can it work now? Towards Garage. Slightly more passive hold from Fur. He was playing that heaven position earlier, got caught off guard in it, and of course now wants to try and change things up a little bit, and that's a perfect way to do so. Opening kill goes away, the CT side, Imperial, that's the start they were looking for. Find the first, take the numbers, and now all they have to do is sit in a slightly more passive position. DGT holding for that slight bit of lobby aggression, but FNX, may I say, in such a passive position, all he has to do, hold and wait, that's all the information they need.
I love how aggressive Fur goes out there. I mean, that's one of the reasons he can get that opening kill, because 9Z aren't expecting him to be so deep towards Secret, towards getting into that under position. Now they've had to change up and they're going to be walking straight into Fallen's AWP.
Oh, Fallen good for one, not able to fall away though. The Galil coming in for support, and Rock's going to find himself another kill. As Fallen falls, that's the NOP traded hands as well, and this now becomes a little bit dicey. Numbers still do favour Imperial, so at the very least, this retake isn't down and out for the count. But it's still not going to be the easiest if they're trying to make their way forward. DGT's Balor's being spotted and being out of that sort of range. It's a freebie. We mentioned FNX was playing nice and passive, steps up the aggression, warrants himself a free kill, but the bomb at the very least still going to go down. And this becomes extremely difficult now for Max and Rox to hold this post barn. Head spotted, Max makes it a 3 versus 2, and somehow, some way, they're finding a little bit of viability in this post plan. Swinging back forward, looking to try and find one more. Bol's nearly called the util out. Yes, he will be in a matter of seconds. It's Vinny. Max 1 versus 1. As Max steps up with the AWP for a 4 versus 2. 9Z converts it.
Nice teamwork there between the last two players standing. Max, of course, holding a little bit further back with that AWP, and he's got his teammates back. The Molly comes out to actually flush him out of his position. He manages to get the first kill. I believe it was Rox. He gets the first kill, has to be traded out. But while it's happening, he's basically baiting those Imperial players to keep pushing out. And despite knowing that Max is right there with the AWP, they still push right into his sightlines. Now Imperial, they had 2 rounds with an AWP. They couldn't get the results out of it. And now they're back down onto pistols. 9Z starting to make some waves here. Let's see if they can continue along with that.
That is the question. I'll have to wait and see. Still, though, very kind of changed tempo coming forward from 9Z. They've been so aggressive that we've seen time and time again, hunting that opening kill. And they're going to have a pretty decent understanding that Imperial aren't going to be bringing too much to the fray in terms of the economy. But still, they're being tactical, looking for something. Speaking of, the AWP could be pressured in towards lobby, or so I speak, a little bit too early. DGT makes it a 3K with ease. And a matter of seconds is Fur. Left all alone in a 1 versus 5 with just a P250. Sam, I think it's safe to say that 9Z are going to take a 4th here.
Yeah, should do. I was talking a little bit earlier about DGT and how he'd been, such a standout player for 9Z yesterday. And, when you lose him early on in the round, it can definitely be a detriment because you have to kind of make up for that deficit. And, well, here you go. In a round like this where he manages to get a 3K spray down. Okay, we bear in mind, again, Imperial only had USPs. I think one player had dual Berettas, right? So you're not going to get terribly much done there. You can. We've seen crazier things happen, but DGT with the perfect angle is going to get the nice little spray down. Now, for the first time, we're going to see the AWP versus AWP battle. Lucan came up pretty big yesterday. I mean, he was consistently winning out the duels versus Wood. It was only when, Cello got the AWP in his hands that things started to go a little bit awry. We haven't seen him on this stream anyway come up against Fallen on that. So it'll be interesting to see if he can win out that battle here or if he's going to be sat down. The other issue to bear in mind is that Rox still hasn't actually bought up. He's been hanging on to that weapon for a really, really long time. I'm not sure if that's strategic. It has been difficult to build up economy because these rounds have been kept very expensive, but I don't know. I think it's a little dangerous.
I do agree. I think it is dangerous to a degree, but for Rox, I guess he's still just playing the bonus, isn't he? If he doesn't need to upgrade that investment, try and make the Mac 10 close down a lot of the space, it could work in his favour. Speaking of, though, Fur, quite an aggressive angle towards our side, trying to peek above the smoke, and it nearly cost him his life. Falls away in just the right amount of time. The Question is now, how do they push Fallen off this angle? Normally you see players pixel peek here, drop a smoke in and fall back, but Fallen, he wants to fight. One in which he fails to convert as David swings in brilliantly. He was all too aware where Fallen could be and delivers on an opening kill going the way of the T side. And now for Imperial, they're going to be spread oh so thin. And will Max even consider FNX that close? No, he doesn't. FNX finds one, looks to make it two as well. David Delta towards David, and he's very fortunate to stay alive.
Wasn't even Lucan that Fallen loses the battle to. Bit of a rough start here. 9Z still in the driving seat, but of course David very low on HP there. This site, however, has somewhat been locked down. FNX is very low on HP, so could be pretty easy to kind of swing out. Oh no. Well, there you go. That's immediately given that advantage straight back over.
And, well, Rock's going to find that the very least FNX was causing significant issues with that double. Still in a 2 versus 3. We saw 9Z convert from this position before, but it's easier than they've done now. They're spread thin. The rotations are coming forward, and still DGT's up towards that A site, but he delivers on a kill. Bolts all 4, but so does Rocks. And now I think for DGT, this is a done and dusted affair. He can't rotate in time, can't deny the defuse coming forward. And even though it is a 10-second defuse, DGT are going to make the very smart decision just to keep hold of that M4A1S. There's no need to try and make a 1 versus 2 work. When he's only got 7 points of HP, keep hold of what he's got, keep the long-term economy somewhat stable, but of course that does mean they give up a 4th round and give up the lead. Imperial tie this game up once again.
A bit of a rough one there. I mean, they start things out really nicely. They take the AWP off of the board, but it's FNX with really good positioning, really good angles that's able to start things going back over. You know, he's able to get one... Well, not a kill, but he does a ton of damage very, very quickly. Despite them knowing exactly where he is, they take so long to react. He gives over information to his team. Fur comes out to back him up, and the two of them manage to take out an extra 2 players. And, I mean, that kind of coordination is so important.
We're going to find a nice opener. Fur will fall. We mentioned about him being quite aggressive towards our side. This time he pays the price. Spam going to come through. Won't call the damage they were hoping for. As we stand, numbers favour the T side, but HP doesn't. You look towards Max, you look towards David, both of them taking a significant amount of damage as we stand and be left with 33 between the two of them. Not exactly where they want to be in terms of the HP. Still, not the end of the world, as 9Z have made that cross down towards Secret. They've got a lot of room over in that position, and still have time to double back if they want to. Over a minute left on the clock. They don't have to commit to anything. Luke going to fall though. That's an important kill. Brings numbers level, and FNX can just play oh so passively and allow them to walk straight towards the cross for VINI. He delivers on a kill. Max will fall. Looking to make a 2, which he does brilliantly. Bomb dropped and around more or less done. And that's 9Z can do something special here.
Rock's caught kind of sleeping at the wheel there. I mean, he knew VINI was there. Doesn't pre-fire. Doesn't, like, do much of anything. He just gets deleted. Another example of deletion as David tries to kind of sneak in a little bit, and that leaves DGT all on his own. Trying to make something happen here, despite the fact that 9Z gave themselves a little bit of a running, maybe not a running start, but they started to pick up a little bit of that momentum, and Imperial just completely shut it down. I do like that this is very... Oh, no. Check your corners, man.
Oh, no.
I do like that it's really back and forth, but... wait. Oh no, bomb is so far away. Like I for a second I was like, wait, is he gonna be able to plant? And then I realized, no, bomb's on the other side of the map. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of a consolation kill. It's silver lining in a bad situation, and that's exactly what it is. They're giving up that lead back over towards Imperial because that bomb was dropped so early doors. VINI, a really nice hold from him. Finds the first one towards Max. Doubles it down. Bomb dropped over towards single door on the B site. And yeah, unfortunately for DGT, there's nothing you can do there. Finds a consolation kill, but that's just about it. That's all they do find. As attack pause is going to be called here by 9Z quite early in towards map number 1, but I think it's actually not too bad of a time to do so. You look towards the economy of the T side, and it's not really in the most stable of state. Yes, DGT can very comfortably drop one across, potentially even the AWP if he wants to drop one over towards Lucan, but it's high risk, high reward, and supported around, that would be a bit of a lackluster buy at that. AK is going to be dropped though from the hands of DGT, so they are going to force us into this as the high risk, high reward situation. Lose this, glass floor once again.
The really important thing I think to note is that this was the first map in their series against Imperial yesterday, and it was pretty close then as well. It finished up on a 16-13 in favor of 9Z, so I think we can expect this to kind of somewhat go the distance as we see another full rush coming into lobby here, but again, the slight misplays, and that hands over the first kill to Imperial.
That's a very... Oh, I was going to say a slight error. What a swing with the Mac 10 from Max, though. He's only going to be good for one at range. Third doubles down, bomb dropped. And that is the round once again in favor of Imperial. We mentioned how it was kind of a risky buy coming in with the kind of overzealous force coming through. And that's exactly what it was. Nothing going to be converted from them. And of course, now for 9Z, nothing to be brought in towards round number 11. It's just going to be those pistols. Going to try and stick above 2K, and most likely is going to be a priority of getting that bomb down and just holding W. Try as much as they can to just overwhelm a site.
It's not even 2K, just a little bit over 1K here. And you say we're looking for a bit of a rush play here. They're kind of posturing back towards outside again, using a lot of that util to try and create some space. The flash fallen out, but he's not off of the angle. They are, however, making headway towards the site and done a little bit of damage here. So there is still potential. If they can keep this expensive, then, you know, they will have done enough.
For a bottle, the Tech 9 could cause an issue here. Luke and holding, waiting for it like a book. Luke gonna fall, and I was looking like, even though he had a Tech 9, because he had that slight off angle, he could have been able to get away with murder, but no, not going to be the case. Noise has been made. Fallen's O2 aware of exactly where the Tech 9 is coming from. But a bit of a missed shot does actually give a bit of leeway. For the T-Star 9Z, yes, they don't have the numbers in their favour, but the space that they've created already could cause problems. Fur once again, doubling down, finding yet another. Max will fall, and this time 3 rocks in DGT. AK-47, Tech 9 to try and convert a 2 versus 4.
Outside and secret is Fur's house. That's where he lives. And you have to kind of expect him to be there time after time. It is nice that they will be able to get that bomb down. So at the very least, they're going to get that little bit of extra cash. DGT's actually managed to hold on to a AK here and it's getting some damage done with it. Can they get any follow-up, or does he just try and hold on to it?
Well,
Ooh.
no, that is the answer for you.
Nope.
Plain and simple, VINI says no. 3 players have been alive for Imperial, and they're going to find themselves up to 7. You know we mentioned it a little bit yesterday, but when I look towards Nuke on the T side, it's the golden number of 6, right? That's what you're looking for 9Z, but that seems far-fetched at the moment because Imperial, while it was a little bit of a slow start from them, it was kind of a bit chop and changey at the start, is now looking a lot more conclusive. They're understanding their CT side. The CT aggression is coming through really well. You look towards, you know, Fur found that double into a secret earlier, or VINI, nice bits of aggression coming forward from him. And that's when 9Z are struggling. They're not used to being put under so much pressure so early in towards a round, and they're struggling to find any map control because of it.
Oh my god, Fur. Oh, what is this aggression? He gets flashed out and he lives. Oh my god.
Oh, the question is, can he find a kill? That is Fallen coming in for support, though. Makes it all the more easier. And somehow, some way, going to fall away, but Fallen not quite as lucky. Spam through the smoke. Max brings the numbers level. Spam going to come back forward in towards the A side, but DG needs to be careful not to give away the ruse. As we stand, Fur still alive over that. After that, a very aggressive push towards our side, may I say. I don't even know how he was able to stay alive there, but he doesn't find a kill. Falls back over towards me, and now VINI holding nice and deep. That door needed open leaves them slightly vulnerable towards the A side, but it's looking like it's going to be a B pop. Over towards ramp is looking like where they're heading, and FNX has to come up huge here. The question is, can he? An arm spotted. The Molotov will force him back, and now he has to just completely give up ramp control.
That's good news for 9Z, but they're still playing this very, very cautiously. They realize they can't go in too aggressively, too crazy. And that gives a lot of time for Imperial to start changing their positioning, start rotating a little bit. Yeah, I mean, even now, 9Z, with all of the noise made over towards ramp, it's like a bit of a fake. And instead, they're heading back through lobby. Thankfully for Imperial, though, Bolts hasn't fallen for it, and he's watching this angle.
Oh, and Bolt's going to be easy picking up 1, looking to make a 2. Won't quite connect the transfer, though. David coming in for a very slow rotate, but of course, he's only got 1 player above him. Swinging their way forward. Rocks make to the 1 versus 1. David from above not going to be able to connect the spray. VINI makes it a double and continues the winning streak of Imperial. Not only that, they went up the half, 8-4. A 1 versus 2 turned 1 versus 1, and somehow, some way, David had all the information but doesn't convert on the spray.
And 9Z, so we talk about the magic number of 6, and well, given what their economy looks like right now, it looks like it might just be a little difficult to make that happen. They are going to be able to buy somewhat into this. It's not going to be a perfect buy, but it will be something. maybe they'll be able to string something through here. But I mean, you look at that previous round and that incredible aggression from first, like almost into the CT or rather the T spawn,
Yeah.
and then Fallen, that supportive AWP, that little bit further back, and threads the needle there with that AWP shot, gives a great opening. But I think that there was a little bit of a misplay there because it does trade out. Now, eventually, of course, Imperial do manage to bring it back towards the end of the round. But I think that if they'd gone for a slightly safer play, maybe more of their players stay alive. Because 9Z, I mean, they still had 4 players there. They start faking a little bit over towards ramp, and the fake isn't bought. In fact, Imperial seem to kind of read into it a little bit. You know, they force Fallen off of the, or FNX off of the angle. He retreats back where? Towards the A side. Yeah. So it actually worked against them.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's an ever so classic thing of them just overcomplicating things, right? I mean, if they just gone for that very easy B pop, you know, they'd already got ram control. The Molotov had forced all the CTs away from that position. They could have just gone for an oh so simple B push, but no, it doesn't work in their favor. Fer gonna find a collateral though. Max and David lining up and giving him an easy double. For FNX following suit with 2 of his own. It's Luke in a Rocks 4 in a matter of seconds. DGT left all alone. 1 versus 4, and 9Z spoke about overcomplicated things. I think they oversimplified that outside push because they walked straight into trouble.
Bearing in mind, outside and secret is Fer's house.
Yeah,
that's where he lives. Backed up a little bit there by FNX as well, so that does give a little bit more to that defense there. But the collat certainly helped matters, and as you say, 9Z.
Oh no, FNX! You didn't have to do it to him. They're already down an alpha can. How can you hit a man while he's down? Come on now. The 1 versus 4. FNX comes from behind, an easy knife, and of course, a little bit of extra cash, which the Cities had not even remotely strapped for. Imperial find 9, and the way things are playing out so far, they'd be hard done by not to get double digits in this first half, and they could even more or less close out map number 1 just because of 9Z leaving things too little, too late.
All right, 9Z, you have like nothing to work with here. So what is the play? And a little bit of utility towards lobby. It's a fake right into the AWP.
And right into FNX and Fallen, doubling down. Fallen looking to make it 3, which he does brilliantly. Oh, so easy, like duck hunting. Fallen makes it a 3K. FNX comes in for support as well. Imperial not even tested to find double digits heading into the final round of the half. And I mean, you gotta say, it's been one-way traffic for the majority of this half, Sam.
You know what? I respect the attempt, right? Fake a little bit towards lobby. And I mean, they didn't have a lot of util to make that fake. So make a little bit of noise towards lobby, start running towards ramp. But you got to expect that that's where Fallen's going to be with the AWP. Speaking of, FNX has got an AWP of his own as we're in the last round and a half. They're going to want to lock this one down as easily as possible. The deep angle from Fallen. Not the supportive AWP, but the aggressive one.
Yeah, Fallen's found the confidence now. This is where things become dicey. Double Orbs heads up comes out, and FNX makes it one of his own. Trying to replicate as best he can, and, well, so far so good. But DGT doing exactly the same. He's going to be able to pick himself up a kill on towards that of Bolt. An important one of that. Walking straight towards Fallen. Seconds of asking. Only a tag. Lucan, forward to stay alive. But of course, he falls to, if I'm right, he's saying his own Molotov. He threw a Molotov towards heaven. It bounced back down in towards hell, and to hell is where he goes. One tap from VINI, drops David. Looking to find one more, running out of ammo. DGT trades. It's a 1 versus 3, one of which he desperately needs to convert to find 5. That's easier than done. Bomb dropped. 11 points of HP and just under a minute left on the clock. And a P250 at range closes that one out. At the half, it's 11-4 in favour of Imperial. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you after the break. Max one apiece. 2 versus 1, but Fallen, somehow the godfather of Brazilian CSGO stepping up to like try and make it a 3K. The question is, can he? Tapping away DGT onto his rafters. Gonna be able to close that one out. It was potentially looking like Imperial could do enough to more or less close this one out in a matter of seconds. But no, 5 rounds found for 9Z, and now the story changes. 9Z kicks out the second half with a decent amount of momentum.
DGT had the high ground, Anakin. And unfortunately, Fallen just not able to connect those shots. And here we see the fruits of what we were talking about in the previous round when we weren't too sure if 9Z were actually going to win that first round. Imperial not being able to plant the bomb. Look at what they got. Deagle, some Tech 9s. Yeah, there's not a lot of power behind this T side.
No.
And they're going to be running into quite a deal more than what they have. What I do like to see here is they haven't tossed out every little bit of utility. We tend to see a lot of T-sided teams, well, teams on the T side do that quite early on in the round. Now we're starting to see some of it come out, create a little bit of space for themselves. We'll see if they're going to go directly in onto the A site, or maybe they make a bit of a ramp play. The ramp plays have been iffy. Obviously, that was when Imperial were on the CT side. We'll see if 9Z can replicate something to that effect.
Yeah, the only thing you've got to be cautious of, Sam, is Zonic's Law. 11-4, Zonic's Law, it's apparently the worst score to have if you're the side of 11, because you're basically just cursed, is how it goes. And so far it's playing out exactly like that. 9Z find the 5th, breaking Zonic's Law, a fur. What a shot, running and gunning. Does not matter. Tech9 domes DG out of the round. In a matter of seconds, Imperial take a lead. The question is, can they keep it? Fur says yes. Traded out, but FNX keeps the numbers heavily in favour of Imperial. Bomb to be planted, and David in for a tough task. A tall order to get back in towards this one. Molotov, of course, will force FNX into a tough spot. He's able to fall away. Door will be open as David and Rock's in for a tall order to get back in towards just the site alone. And actually, I think they're going to go for the save call. I don't blame them. In a 2 versus 4 situation, completely locked out of that B site, they're going to keep on to what they got.
Oh, this doesn't bode well for 9Z. They came into this definitely at the advantage, and Imperial just overrun them. I think Fur and Fallen swinging together and getting that first kill over towards ramp is massive. But that's one of the things about when you're on these kind of eco rounds. You have to swing together.
Of course.
That's why so many teams will death ball as like a 5 stack, you know? And okay, sometimes we see like DGT did, you know, spray down 3 people as you're trying to attempt that. But in this particular instance, Fur and Fallen, they hit their shots and they are able to open up a lot of space for themselves. And from there, the dominoes just kind of fall. It's that synergy between the players that is so important. Now, of course, we're going to be seeing Imperial taking their second time out, which is interesting because they're the ones that are in the lead right now and clearly conferring and trying to figure out, okay, well, how exactly are we going to make sure that we don't drop another round? They want to bring this home as quickly and cleanly as possible. They know that 9Z aren't going to be on the best buy. They might even be expecting the scout to be coming out. You know, when you've been playing the game for as long as these guys have, you have a really good idea of what economy is going to look like from round to round, even for the enemy team. So might be expecting that to come through and deliberating exactly how they're going to deal with it. Of course, they're not going to be bringing out anything like that for themselves. I think they're probably going to be sticking to this overrun tactic where you rush in where you know that an area is going to be less stacked than another one. For example, you know, ramp, there was only 1 player. You get that down, you get yourself a ton of space, and then you can rush forward from there. So I think they're trying to figure out where's going to be the next weak point that they can exploit.
Wait and see. It's looking like potentially a lobby crunch. Fallen going to find the open. FNX one more as well. Unfortunately, not quite the start they were looking for. Scout brought out, but tagged down already early, down to 10 points of HP, and then aid.
Oh my god.
Domes him out of the round. Fur finding a double to clone things up, and that's Imperial up to 13. So close already to the Orla Losers 16 on their opponent's map pick. 3 rounds away and 9Z. I think it's safe to say their morale is completely in the bin right now.
Oh, that was actually painful to watch. And again, it's that stellar coordination. You got a couple people rushing through lobby. The rest are kind of moving through outside. And honestly, it was the HE that did it for me. I mean, that just sent me. They pop it off the top of the building, let it bounce down and get the kill. The disrespect. But the important part here is, of course, Imperial going to net themselves another round. As we see now, another little tech pause coming through. Players seem to be struggling a little bit with the, you know, technology. God damn it. I just hate it when technology is like, no.
Technology's like, no, we've all been there. I definitely have. I have to say exactly that. But yeah.
I mean, earlier today?
Yes, precisely. Exactly that. At 13-5. I mean, for Imperial, it's looking like now kind of these rounds are sort of cannon fodder rounds to closing this one out. I mean, realistically speaking, for 9Z, they look so down in the dumps, and of course their economy is in exactly the same case. There's no buy to come forward for them. They're opting for 4 USPS, there's no investment there, and of course David just picking up that 5-7. It's really not what you want to see, is it at all? 13-5, 4 buy for Imperial. Pretty much surely should be 14 here.
Well, given the fact that they are not on an eco and 9Z are, yeah, this should be fairly easy to leverage back in their favor. Already a ton of chip damage being taken by the 9Z side. Trying so hard to kind of stem this tide. But look at all the space and outside. They've already rotated all the way around. 9Z, no map control. And they're just going to get overrun.
Yeah, I was expected that. I mean, there's such a little buy coming forward from the 9Z side. The question, can the 5-7 find anything? The answer is no. David gets domed. FNX, an easy swing with a Mac 10. Leaves 2 USPSs. Rocks, Max, 3 letters, 2 players. No buy means probably no round. Imperial in a 5 vs 2 situation. I think it's safe to say that they're going to clean this one up in a matter of seconds. Potentially, Rocks and Max probably find an exit frag here or there, but even that's asking a lot, especially against MP9s in close range encounters. Sure to mow down a couple of kills. The question is, do they even bother to go hunting? Because they don't even need to. They just go for that safe exit back over towards their spawn, even towards our side if they want to, because they know they can take those fights at range, and the USPSs won't be able to beat them. I think we might see a little pop up the ladder from the USPSs. No, back over to a secret they go. Not going to cause an issue. Imperial find 14. Sam now only 2 rounds away from dominantly taking their map opponents pick, right, of Nuke. I mean, if you cast back towards yesterday, which went the 4-3 maps, and it was quite a close series, generally speaking, between these two, with 9Z pipping them in map number 3, this is not looking even remotely the same.
I mean, yeah, yesterday was a 16-13 in favor of 9Z. I mean, when you think about that, it's a little crazy to try and believe. And, you know, I think that a lot of it has to do with Imperial. You know, they have beaten 9Z twice leading up to this event, and then they lose and they go, what? Hang on a second. And they start to kind of readjust and refigure what their strategies are going to be. Of course, coming into this round now, 9Z. Oh no, I was just going to talk about what a huge opportunity they have in terms of weaponry. They got the AWP, but they've lost Rox, and Rox has been one of their top fraggers.
That's an unfortunate one to lose early doors. I mean, Rox has been one of the slightly more standout players alongside DGT, and with him gone early doors, it already spells a bit of a troublesome side, especially with Max gonna find one more in response, but it's only one. Fur keeps the numbers in favor of the T side, and now the CTs and 9Z, potential for them to be spread quite thin as outside control is completely relinquished, and David has a lot to do in terms of denying it. That secret push coming forward, I mean, Imperial, they can just overwhelm.
Caught sleeping at the wheel there.
Ooh.
Nice little bit of trades here, though. Somehow, 9Z managing to bring it back a little bit. Bomb still hasn't been planted. Still have the AWP in their hands. The B side is somewhat free and clear. 9Z going to start to rotate a little bit. Give themselves some sight lines. As, oh, no, it looks like it's going to be up on the A side. Headed back up. 9Z nowhere to be seen, so this retake has to be clean.
It's a big rotation that came through, and of course, because of it, it's given them somewhat of a wealth of security over towards the initial points of A. You look towards your heaven, you look towards your main, hence why FNX is holding. The question is hot. Will they expect that pop on? Forward off shot from Luke is brilliant. Gonna find one. VINI has to have a huge, which he does so well. 2 kills in a matter of seconds for him. Find Imperial, their 15th. 10-round lead they hold over 9Z on their map pick on 9Z on the more preferential side of CT. Somehow, some way, Imperial, I don't know what they ate for breakfast this morning, but they have come off firing on all cylinders.
I found that quite funny because he runs like straight over the AWP while looking at it, and it's almost like a, yeah, you see this gun? I don't want it. Ha! He doesn't pick it up. And 9Z, well, they got a scout. Not quite the same. And not too much else to work with here. Imperial a massive advantage in every sense of the word, and it's looking like they could bring this home. Fur does take a ton of damage there. 9Z not going to give up without a fight, of course, but Imperial have looked so good on this first map. They left the bomb in spawn.
Well, yeah, I mean, so far for Imperial, I mean, they've got the significantly better firepower. They could realistically just play nice and aggressive and hope for the firepower to make a difference, but Luke are going to do exactly the same thing, this time with a scout. Headshot domes the opening kill, and FNX will fall early doors. Now Imperial, what was looking like a very dominant showing from them this entire map, a little bit undecisive in towards round number 21, making their way towards our side, trying to decide where they want to go. But Max is going to be a tough cookie to crumble in towards Garage. A tough one to clear as he holds close and personal. But they consider to clear him, though they don't. Max nearly finds a second as well. Bolts fortunate to stay alive, only 7 points of HP. And despite the significantly low buy of 9Z, it's looking like potentially this could be the round they convert.
It's interesting because Imperial take a slightly slower approach this time to what we've seen in a lot of the other rounds. And it's almost like 9Z are better against the slower push. And they've done really well to give themselves an advantage. But Imperial keep kind of battling it back a little bit. Now, the advantage is still heavily in favor of 9Z, but they have to be so careful waiting for these rotations to come in. They kind of, I mean, look at where Bolts is posted at the moment, right? He's going to be perfectly primed for a potential lurk. Okay, well, or he's just going to die. Never mind.
Yeah,
all of that plan just went straight out the window.
Yeah, it was potentially looking like it could have been something. That was Bolts in a 1 versus 2, and of course, time is not his best friend. He already took so much damage earlier from Max, and, well, just have to keep on at AK-47. Yeah, not really the round that we expected from Imperial. It should have realistically been them just closing that one out, right? I mean, there was the vastly different firepower between the two sides, but Imperial tried to go for a much slower take, and actually paid the price for it. Luca takes the opener. It's a isolated fight, which is easily able to drop FNX, and of course, because of it, with Amanda's advantage, all 9Z have to do is play the trade game, and that's something they do so well.
Alright, Imperial, what's the plan? They start moving out towards outside again. These plays have worked out quite nicely. 9Z don't have quite the same control of the outside area as Imperial did on their own CT side. And they've actually already made their way towards Secret Bomb. Hasn't moved yet, though. They're still being very, very cautious about this. A little bit of a fake towards outside. But look how 9Z are so grouped up. They don't want to fall for this. They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to over-rotate too early. And this could actually backfire on them.
Exactly that. I mean, so far in towards lobby. Rox tried to go aggressive and he actually pays the price for it. If anything, going to find one more as well. 5 versus 3 numbers favor Imperial. The man advantage on their side. The question is, can they use it as a catalyst to success? It's looking like towards A they're going. First made his way back up towards ladder. Going to get a slight clearance over towards the A side, and Max needs to convert a kill here, which he does. Falling on a forward and a board to one. Looking for a flank as well, and they haven't even considered it. He's going to get a freebie. Yes, he does. Looking to make a 2. Not quite able to pull it off. Back to a 2 versus 2, but significant damage delta towards FNX. And Bolt isn't looking too pretty on 66 either.
Nice work on the death ball there to give themselves a little bit of an opening. Yes, there were a couple of lurks coming around the corner. But right now, 9Z still somewhat in control. Time ticking away here.
Oh no.
Oh, that's painful. But Imperial Sports Bets, the last 2 players are incredibly low. FNX and Bolts are going to be running straight into DGT. Oh, and that's bomb.
They walk straight into him. They expect him to be over towards A. They were wrong. Molotov might even potentially force Bolt over the edge. 4 points of HP. Trying to find the headshot. The question is, can he? Yes, he can. Oh! Bolts, why did I question him? Steps up brilliantly. And Imperial 16-6 on their opponent's map pick. A 10-round lead. They take down 9Z and go into their pick of Inferno with a healthy lead ahead of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to throw this one to a quick break. We'll see you after and bring you Inferno. The pick of 9Z. We'll see you in a second.